Hey guys, this is Christina from craftmuse, and today's tutorial is going to be for this little hedgehog. So this is what I have made, and today I'll be making a girl version of this. So what you will need to make this little guy or gal is a color that you want to use for the body, and then a color that you want to use for his little fur spike thingies. And then if you want to add like a separate color as a bow, and then you'll need like a separate color for the nose and some eyes. So today I'll be using some 8mm safety eyes, but you can also use wrap bands or you can use pony beads. And then let's see, what else do you need here? Since I'm making a girl, I'm going to be adding eyelashes to her eyes. So I've already gotten 2 black bands ready so that I can just tie these on to the safety eyes. So I just like cut these already so I can use them later. And then of course you'll need either your rainbow loom hook or your crochet hook. And then I have another one on hand just in case I want to put like my arms and legs and ears on it to hold on to that for now, but it's not necessary to have an extra hook. You also need a C-clip or a stitch marker, so I'm just using a C-clip as usual. And then, so these are the 2 colors that I'll be using today. I'll be using the pearl pink ones and the same color for the body that I used here, which is the mother of pearl, and just like this brown color here for the nose. And of course you'll need some polyfil. Not this much, but you know, just a small amount because he is pretty small. It fits in the palm of my hand. So, and then also if you want to put some blush on, I use just regular blush, the stuff that I always use to put my cheeks on my little Loomigurumi creations. So let's get started on this, and the first thing that we want to start off with are just like the arms, the legs, and the ears, and then we're going to do the nose. That way we'll have it all ready for when we get to that part we can just attach it. So let's get started on that. Okay, so for our arms, we are going to be starting off with the main body color. So all our arms and our legs and our ears and the nose are going to be using the main body color except for the little tip of the nose here. So get that ready. I'll have a band count in the description box below if you want to just make sure if you have enough of a color. So we'll start with the arms. We need to make 2 of these. So you're going to grab 3 bands, and then you're just going to wrap them around your hook and make a cap band with that. So I'm going to wrap it around once, then I'm going to grab all of these and wrap it around again. It's kind of a big clump of bands that you've got on your hook right now. And then I am going to take 3 more bands, put those on my hook, and then I'm going to grab this capping band, which is really thick, so it might be easier just to take a little bit over at a time. And you're going to slide that into the center, and then reclaim the other end onto your hook. So we're going to do that one more time. Take 3 more bands, place them on your hook, and slide this onto those 3 bands. And center it. And so there we've got a little arm. Now what we want to do is make a slip knot band that we're going to slide these onto. So I'm going to take 1 band, place it on my hook, and then I'm going to take another band, put that on my hook, bring over this loose band here, slide it towards the center, reclaim the other end, and then slide this loop under this one so that it just slip knots. And then I'm just gonna put this arm on that end. So that's basically it for the arm. So you're really not going to need a second hook to hold this onto this unless you're really afraid that the arms are going to slip off, but they really shouldn't. So let's go ahead and make another one. So you're going to grab 3 bands and make a cap band. So wrap them around once, grab all 3, wrap around again, and you're going to grab 3 more bands. And place this cap band on. Make sure you center that. And then reclaim the other end. And then you're going to grab 3 more bands and just slide this onto that. Reclaim. And then I'm going to grab 2 bands and slip knot them together. And slide this onto that. Okay, and then I'm just going to place that with my other arm. Now let's go ahead and make the legs. So we need to do a cap band with 4 bands. So you're going to grab 4 bands. So there's 4. My thing keeps not focusing. Okay. I'm going to wrap it around my hook once. And that's it. So I just wrapped them around one time. Now you're going to get 4 more bands and bring that cap band onto those 4 bands. And then reclaim the other side. And you're going to take a slip knotted band, slide this on. So he's got little short stubby feet and arms. So this is what it should look like. And don't worry, when we tie this on, it will close these 2 bands together so that it won't look as weird as it does right now. So we need to make another one. So we need 4 bands. Just wrap them around your hook once. Get 4 more bands. And just slide this capping band onto that. And slide this onto a slip knotted band. And put away for now. Now we need to make the ears. So the ears are just going to be a magic ring with 6 stitches in it. So go ahead and grab a band and wrap it around your hook 2 times so that you create 3 loops on your hook. You're going to take another band and pull this capping band onto that band. Slide it to the center, push down, reclaim the other end. Now you're going to take this loop through this loop here. So like we're creating a slip knot, but you don't want to tie it tight. You just want to keep it nice and loose. Next you're going to place your hook through that capping band. So you want to make sure you're going through all 3 loops in the cap band, and then you still have this loop over here. So I'm going to grab another band, slide it through the cap band only. So I'm going to leave this band here alone. So I'm just going to slide through the cap band, reclaim the other end onto my hook. So you should have 3 on your hook right now. And I'm going to slide this one under these 2. Just like that. Go back through your capping band, grab another band, bring it through these 3 up onto your hook. Slide under. So that was 3. We need to do 3 more. So back through your cap band, through the cap band only, up onto your hook. Slide under. Here's 5. Cap band. Slide under. And then here's 6. Slide under. Now I'm going to stick my hook through this first stitch here. I'm going to grab another slip knotted band, and I'm going to slide this through that stitch and through this loop over here. So you should have your magic ring on a slip knotted band. You want to do that one more time. So take your band, wrap it around your hook twice to create 3 loops. Grab another band, slide that capping band on, reclaim, and now you're going to tie it into a very loose slip knot. Go back through that capping band, bring your band through the cap band only, up onto your hook, and slide under. So that was 2. Let's do this 4 more times. 3, 4, 5, and here's my 6th one. And then I'm going to go through that very first stitch there, grab another slip knotted band, and slide this magic ring onto that. Okay, let's make one more thing. We're going to be making the nose. So grab whatever you want the tip of the nose to be. I'm using brown. I don't know. I think this one's from the Camel Pack. Anyways, you want 2 of them. So I'm going to wrap this around my hook once. Then I'm going to grab all those bands, wrap it around again. Then I'm going to grab 3 of my body color bands and just slide this capping band onto that. Come on. So slide it towards the center, reclaim the other end. Make sure it's centered. And then you're going to take a slip knotted band, lots of slip knotted bands here, and slide this on. Alright, so we have made everything that we need to make that we will attach to the hedgehog later on. So now we can get started on the body. So the first color that we're going to be starting off with is going to be the same color that you just used to make all your limbs and ears and stuff like that. So we're going to be starting off with the body color, and then I will let you know when we're going to go ahead and switch to the spike color. So you are going to want to get out your C-clip or your stitch marker. So here we go. For row 1, we want to do a magic ring with 6 stitches in it. So just like we did with the ears, that's what we want to do for this row. So wrap it around your hook twice to create 3 loops. Bring your band, your cap band onto that band. Reclaim and then slide under. And we want 6, so that was 1. This will be 2. 3. 4. 5. And 6. So just to count and make sure that you have 6 stitches, you'll start with the little V-shaped things on the sides. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the band that's on my hook will count as the 6th stitch. Next we want to go on to row 2, which we're going to be increasing in each stitch around so that we end up with 12 stitches. So to do an increase, we will be putting 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So we have 6 now, and by doubling that we will have 12. So a single crochet is actually, let's go ahead and place our C-clip in that band that is on your hook. Okay, so I'm going to stick my hook through that very first stitch there. So I've got the stitch on my hook and I've got this band over here. You're going to grab a band, pull it through the stitch only, bring the other end up onto your hook. So you should have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to slide this first one under these 2. So that is a single crochet. I need to go back in that very first stitch and do the same thing. So through the stitch only, up onto my hook, and slide under. So I've just put 2 single crochets in my first stitch, and that is what is called an increase. Let's do the same thing with our second stitch. So we're going to do our first single crochet through the stitch, up onto my hook, and slide under. Go back in that second stitch and do another single crochet. Okay, let's keep repeating this all the way around till we get to the last stitch. So there's 1, go back in, and 2. I'm going into my 4th stitch now, and do a single, go back in, and another one. I'm going into my 5th stitch, so there's 1, go back in, and there's 2, and then I'm at my last stitch here, so I'm just going to take my stitch marker out. I'm going to go into that last stitch. Here's 1 single crochet, go back in, and here's my second one. So now what you should have is a total of 12 stitches and something that looks like this. So you just count the little V's. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Go ahead and place your C-clip on that band that's on your hook. And then we will go with round 3. So for round 3, we are going to be doing a single crochet in the first stitch and then an increase in the second stitch. We're going to repeat this pattern all the way around so that we end up with 18 stitches. So single crochet in the first, increase in the second, single crochet in the third, increase in the fourth, and so on. So I'm going to stick my hook into my first stitch here. I'm only putting 1 single crochet in this stitch. So single crochet. Now I'm moving on to my second stitch. So I'll go into my second stitch and I want to put 2 single crochets since this is an increase. So there's 1, go back into your second stitch, and there's 2. My third stitch is going to be a single crochet. So there's 1. My fourth stitch is going to be an increase. There's 1, go back in, and 2. Next will be a single, next will be an increase. There's 1, go back in, see, this thing is like keeps going out of focus. Okay, single, then an increase, single, increase, a single, And then I'm going to take my my stitch marker out and do an increase in that last stitch. So there's one, go back in, and 2. So you should now have 18 stitches if you want to check and make sure. Now we can move on to row 4. So for row 4, we're just going to be doing a single crochet, followed by an increase. We'll keep repeating that pattern all the way around so that we end up with 24 stitches. So we'll go single, single, increase, single, single, increase, and just continue that around. So my first stitch will be a single, second stitch will be a single, and third will be an increase. There's 1, go back in, and 2. Going back to my single, so here's single, single, go on the next and do an increase. Okay, we're doing a single, single, and then an increase. Single, single, and an increase. Single, single, increase, single, single, and then our last stitch will be an increase, and you should now have 24 stitches. Alright, so moving on, rows 5 and 6, we are just going to be doing single crochets around in the 24 stitches. So for 2 rows, we want to just do single crochets around 2 times. So I'll do the first row with you and then pause the video and you can do the remaining row around of single crochets. So no increases here, we're just going to go around the 24 stitches with singles. And if at any point I'm going too fast or too slow for you, be sure to utilize the pause button, the rewind, and the fast forward button. It's really hard to figure out a perfect pace because everybody is at a different level, so I'm a little dusty at this. I haven't had a tutorial out in over a month. I had to take a little break, but I'm back, so thank you guys for being patient with me. I just needed some time. Oops. Okay, so I'm almost at the end here. So I'm going to take my C-clip out and put my single crochet into that stitch. And then I'm going to place my C-clip in that band that's on my hook. So that was row 5. Now I want to do the same thing around. Just do single crochets around one more time, and then we will continue on. So pause the video and do that, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. I have finished row 6 around, so that is all we are going to be using the body color for. We are now switching to the fur, or the spikes, or whatever you want to call it. And here comes the fun part, because we have to add a band to each of our stitches around. So not only will we have the stitches in the round that we're using, we will have a single band. Actually, let's see, what did I do? Oh, for the first couple of rows, I actually used 2 bands on each stitch around, just to give it more fullness. But as we go along, you can switch to using a single band instead of having to do double bands for the fur all the way around, just to kind of save on your so you're not like eating up all your bands. But it's your preference. You could even just do all the rows with just single bands, and I'm sure it will end up looking fine. But I know for the first couple of rows I used 2 bands for each stitch. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll show you right now. For row 7, we are going to be doing a single crochet around in the back loops only. So BLO stands for back loops only. So if you look at your stitch here, so here's my first stitch here. Instead of sticking my hook through the entire stitch, I'm only going to be going through the back stitch, the back part of the stitch. So basically, I'm just sticking my hook through the center of the stitch and coming out of the loop that's in the back. So the front loop would be, if I were to go in between and have my front loop on my hook, and the back loop is to go in the middle and pick up that back loop. So we are going to be using just one loop to crochet in. So we'll be switching to your fur color. Usually I do a color change here, but since we have the fur, it's really not necessary to do that. So we're just doing single crochets around, but we need to be adding our fur to each stitch. Single crochets around in the back loops only. So stick your hook and grab that back loop. You're going to grab either 2 or 1 band, just however many you want to use as your fur. But like I said, I'm doing 2 at a time, just for this row, first couple rows. So I'm going to stick the 2 loops on my hook, and then I'm going to grab another one, put that on my hook, slide these 2 on, and then do my single crochet. So band through, bring the other end up onto my hook, and then slide under. Wait, hold on, what am I doing? This is where it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt, because you don't want to get, like, your furs are going to get in the way. Since we're not like tying it around our hook once, the bands are going to be longer, so they're going to get in the way a little more. So, okay, so I have 2 bands on my hook. I'm going to slide those on, and then I'm going to slide my hook through that back stitch. You're going to kind of have to pull these loose bands down, grab the other end, and then slide under. So basically you just attach 2 bands to your stitch. Now I'm going to go in my next stitch, back loop only, and do the same thing. So I'm going to put 2 bands on my hook. Oops. Grab another band and go into my stitch and slide under. Continue all the way around, so go through the next back loop only, grab your 2 bands. Sorry if my finger gets in the way, I have to hold these bands down, so slide these bands on, go into my stitch, reclaim, and slide under. So this might seem like it's real slow going at first, but you'll kind of get the hang of it. So when I put my 2 bands on my hook, I like to hold it down with my finger, and then I pick up my next band and then just kind of slide it through the 2 bands, the 2 pink bands, and the back loop. So I just slide it through all of that, reclaim, and I'm still holding these 2 bands down so they don't get in the way, and then I'll do my crochet. So go through your next back loop only, put your 2 bands on, hold those down with your finger, grab another band, and I'm going to hold these down. Whoops. Oh my gosh, I'm having a difficult time here. So slide it through those 2 bands and my stitch, reclaim, and slide under. So let's just keep going. I'm going to go a little bit faster here, hopefully. You just want to make sure that you're not going that you're getting your fur out of the way when you go into the next stitches. So sometimes when you're going into the next stitch, it might be easy to accidentally pick up one of these furs from a previous stitch. Just make sure that those are kind of out of the way. So it can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. So I'm going to go off camera and finish the rest of this. I've got about half more to go, but hopefully you guys have the idea of what to do. So I'm going to go all the way around till I get to this last stitch, and then we'll continue on with the next row around. Okay, so I just finished that row around, and you should still have 24 stitches just with the fur on it. And we will be continuing adding the fur all the way to the very end of the hedgehog. So just remember to put those bands on before you do your stitch. Oh, why am I taking that out? Okay, so now we want to increase to 30 stitches. So we're going to do single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and then an increase, and we'll repeat this pattern all the way around so that we go from 24 to 30 stitches. And again, I'm going to be adding 2 bands for each stitch for my fur. Again, it's up to you if you want to do the 2 or if you just want to do the 1. So now instead of just going in the back loop, we're just going through the entire stitch as normal. So I'm going to go into my first stitch here, grab my 2 bands, grab my band. So this one is going to be a single crochet. And this is really where your furs are going to start getting in the way. So just take your time. I'm going to go through my next stitch and do another single crochet. Don't forget to add your fur. I'm going to do one more single crochet in my third stitch. So grab your furs, place them on your hook. Okay, now in my fourth stitch, I want to do an increase. So for each single crochet that I put in this fourth stitch, there will be 2, but I also want to add furs to each one of those. So I'm going to do my first one. So here's my fur. So there's one. Now I want to go back in that fourth stitch, grab some more fur, grab another band, and do another single crochet. Okay, now I'm going back to my single crochets, so we need to do 3. So single crochet, move on to your next stitch. Single crochet, move on to your next stitch and do another single. And then an increase in this next stitch. I apologize if you can't really see what I'm doing because of all these bands are kind of in the way. But if you already know, like single crochets and increases, this is just adding fur to that. So okay, now we're going to go back to our single crochets. Go into your next stitch, do another single. Go into your next stitch, do another single, and then the next one will be an increase. So there's one. I'm going to go back in that stitch. 2. I'm going to go back to my single crochets. So single, 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 and then an increase. Go back to singles, single, single, and another single, and then an increase, back to singles, single, 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 and then I'm going to take my C-clip out and do an increase in this last stitch. So there's one, and go back in. Oh, there's so much going on right here. Hold on. There. So you should now have a total of 30 stitches around, and it should start looking like something like this. I'm going to put my C-clip in, and I'm actually going to do one more row around and then start adding like the details to the hedgehog. So we are now going to be on row 9, and we want to just do single crochets around in the 30 stitches. Feel free to switch to one band, or you can continue using the 2 bands. It's up to you guys. I'm going to start just using one band now. I think that's what I did with this other hedgehog that I made, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm just going to start using one band for the fur instead of 2 now. So I'm going to do part of this row with you guys, and then I'll let you go off and do the rest on your own, just to not take up so much of your time. So these are just going to be single crochets around. Don't forget to add your fur to each stitch. And try not to include those other furs from the previous rounds, because I know your hook really wants to go into them right now, because mine does. Just kind of have to push them down and And hopefully you guys can even see this well, because I have a pink background and I'm using pink bands, which I just realized is pretty dumb of me, but I guess I should have used a different main color. Alright, so just continue going around till you get all the way to the last stitch. Just continue around with your single crochets with adding your fur, and then we will temporarily fasten it off and work on the features. So I'll see you guys when you're finished with that. Alright, so I finished my row around and I still have 30 stitches in there. Now what I want to do is stick my hook through the next stitch over, and I grabbed a band that is like totally not related to this the color of this project, just so I can see it when I go to take it out, just because of all the furs. So you're going to want to take like a different colored band and just slide it through the stitch and the loop that's on your hook, reclaim the other end and tie that into a slip knot, and this will just help hold it together while you're working on adding your eyes and nose and stuff like that. So let's actually get started with that. It doesn't matter which way you have up or down, just because it's not going to matter in the long run. So choose whichever, I mean it's all pretty much the same, where you want the top and where you want the bottom to be. I'm just kind of basing mine off of the magic ring right here. I want to have 2 stitches, one right on one side of the magic ring and then one on the other side, so that I can place my nose right there. That way it'll be kind of easier for me to figure out and center my eyes a little bit better. So I'm using this magic ring as a guide for my nose and a guide for everything else. You guys don't have to do that. You can stick your nose anywhere. If you guys want to add it higher up than your magic ring, you can do that. I kind of just like the look of how my other one came out, so I'm just going to kind of stick with the same thing. So I've got my magic ring in the center here, and then I've got 1 stitch here and 1 stitch here. So these are the 2 holes on either side of the magic ring that I'm going to be pulling the bands from my nose into. So I'm going to start off with my nose. So go ahead and grab your nose, and you are going to, so here's my magic ring. I'm going to come up on one side of that. Hold on, let me move my camera a little bit just so it's not so close. Okay, so I came up through one side. So there's my magic ring. I'm just right next to that. And I'm going to pull this down into the face. And then I'm going to go into the other hole that's on the other side of my magic ring. And pull the other side down into the face. So just like that. Then I'm just going to go onto the inside. So as you can see, I've got my magic ring right here, and then I've got one coming out on one side and one coming out the other. You're going to want to pull that nice and tight so that your nose kind of pulls together. And then you're just going to tie that into a tight knot. And if you're using like these jelly-ish sort of bands, you want to make sure that your knot is nice and tight, because these tend to slip out of knots a little bit easier. So once you do that, your nose might look a little bit weird. Just make sure you center the brown part of the nose, or whatever color you're using. And that will fix the shape of it. Okay, so I've got my nose on. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my eyes. So I'm going to grab my safety eyes. So here's, for reference, is my other hedgehog that I made. So I pretty much just put the eyes right next to the nose. So I kept them kind of in line with the nose. Maybe a little bit above. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm trying to think if I should have added 4 bands with the nose. Oops, that's too close. So I have my eyes in. Before I like fasten them on, I kind of want to show you how you can use maybe some beads or wrapped bands to do the eyes. I'm going to leave those in just because I don't want to lose my spot. So I would probably recommend using either 1 or 2 eye color bands, depending on how large you want your eyes to be. And you just want to make a cat band. So I'm going to wrap these around my hook once, grab all of those and wrap it around again. And then you're going to want to use the color that's your main body color. And you're just going to slide that capping band on. that. And you could put these on a slip knotted band if you wanted a longer length to work with. And then you're just going to pick the spot where you want your eye, and just how we attach the nose. Going to go in and pull one end down, and then go in and pull the other end down. Looks like he has 4 eyes. So then you grab both of those loops on your hook and then kind of slide it under like you're doing a slip knot. And then you could just go to some stitches on the inside of the face. Grab another, pretend this is a body color band. Grab another body color band, slide it through that stitch and the band that's on your hook. Reclaim and then tie that into a slip knot nice and tight. And that will hold your eyeball on there. So that's 2 bands. If you want it smaller, you'd want to go ahead and maybe use just 1 band. And then if you want to use beads, you just do the same thing. Just place the beads on a body color band. Like you can use like perler beads, not perler beads, pony beads, or if you have like the round black beads, and then just attach it on the same way as I did with this wrap band. You can also use buttons too. There's lots of things that you can use for eyes if you don't have the safety eyes. So once you've picked out where you want your eyes to be, go ahead and either like fasten them off if you have safety eyes, or fasten them off, like tie them using body color bands if you're doing like wrap bands or something like that. But I think I want to go ahead and add my eyelashes to this first before I fasten these. So if you want to add eyelashes to these safety eyes, you can just cut 1 band and then just kind of tie them on to the eyeball. You don't have to do this, but I like adding lashes to the girls that I make. Oh, come on. It's a pain in the butt. Alright, I'm just going to take this out and tie it on. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Alright then, I went off camera to do that. I just tied these on in a knot. It was just taking me too long to do that. You guys didn't need to see that. So I'm just going to attach these on, put the backs on my safety eyes. One and two. Okay. So I've got the eyes on, the nose on. Now we want to go ahead and add let's do the legs. So the legs are these little, where'd they go? Here we go. The ones with the cap band on the 4 bands. So the smaller ones. And we're going to add these exactly how we added the nose. I just added mine at the bottom. So you're just going to pick where you want to put your foot. So I'll say right here, and then I'm just going to bring them in the stitches that are right in the body color. So I'll bring one end through. going to go on the other side and grab the other end. Trying to think if I want to move this a little bit over. I'm going to move it over one. Even if you don't like how it came out, you can always just untie it and redo it. Okay, so that's where one leg's gonna go, and then you're just gonna go on the inside and tie that into a knot. And then kind of fix that up. There's one leg, and I'm going to do the same thing right next to that. Ah. And then I'm going to go on the inside and tie that into a knot. And we're going to add our arms the exact same way. After I fix this one up a little bit. There we go. This one looks a little bit off. I should move this over. I just moved my leg over a little bit. Now you want to put your arms on. And do the same thing. So somewhere along the side here. Just gonna bring these loops through. It's kind of difficult to see with all this fur getting in the way. So much easier to do this off camera when I don't, like, when I can hold it like right up to my face and see what I'm doing. Okay, so once you got your first arm in, just go ahead and tie that one off. And then you'll do your second one. Try to get it like across in the same area as your other arm. Can do it. far of a gap. Once you got that in, tie it off. Okay, where is it? Where's the other band? Oh. I'm talking to myself. And then for these, I kind of just bent, like stuck my hook in. Here's the cat band, and here's the next like chain of bands. I'm kind of just gonna like stick my hook in there and pull it under so that her little arms are kind of like, I don't know, not just straight. I just want them to kind of curve a little bit. Like that. Okay, so now we can add, let's see, do I want to do the ears next or the little bangy thingies? I'm going to do the ears, and then what I did with the other one is I added some wrapped bands kind of in the center here so it doesn't look like she has such a big forehead. And you don't have to do that if you don't want to, but if you can see here, there's some little curlies right there. That was just to kind of cover some of that extra forehead space that he had. So I'm going to do the same thing on this pink one here, and I'll show you how to do that if you decide you want to. But first let's add our ears, and of course this is going to be the same way as we've been doing with the arms and the legs. So you just want to put it on top, pull down your bands, come on, there we go, and tie it off. And then I'm going to do my other ear. So many bands to just get caught up in here. Tie that off. And then I'm just going to add a little bit here. And if you're doing a girl, you could just add a bow there if you want to skip out on the hair. But what I'm going to do is start right here somewhere and stick my hook through. And then I'm going to take a pink band or whatever color you're using for the fur. And here I'm going to put it on my hook and wrap it once so that I'm making kind of like a shorter fur. Then I'm going to grab a single band, a pink one, pull that wrapped band onto it. And then I'm going to go through that stitch in the head, reclaim the other end onto my hook, and slide under. And then I'm going to kind of just go in wherever you want with the hair. So I'm going to stick my hook into the next part of the head. Take another band, wrap it around my hook once, grab another band, slide that wrap band on, go under the stitch in the head, reclaim, and slide under. And you can either even go further down into the face if you'd like. I might go one more, going down one more. So stick your hook into the face, wrap your band once, grab another, pull it through all that, reclaim, and slide under. And now I'm going to head up. So that's as low as I want to go. So now I'm going to start going back up. So go into stitch in the head, continue with your wrap band. Bring that through, reclaim, slide under, continuing up. Wrap your band. And do your single crochet. And then I'll do, let's see, one more, I guess, before well, no, maybe two more. I'm going to wrap my band. It's getting kind of hard to see with the furs in the way. And I kind of might just go into the center here so I can kind of get rid of that gap of skin color. And then I'm going to go here and do one more before I tie off. So just get it looking how you want it to look, if you're even doing this part. Okay, so once you've done your last one, you're just going to go into a stitch in the head, grab a pink band or your color you're using, slide it through that stitch in the head and the loop on your hook, and tie that into a slip knot. And you can tuck this in, or you can leave it out because there's already like a bunch of fur, so you won't really be able to see it too much. And then you can kind of fix these up a little bit if they look a little weird. So there's that, and then I'm going to add a bow, simple bow to her. So I'm going to do that now, and then we'll finish up with the rest of the body and we'll be finished. So for the bow, this is just a simple one. You can actually do whatever you want. You could add flowers, you could add beads, anything you want. For the boy, I put the bow right there, and then for the girl, I'm going to put it up here. But just find, if you're doing the same bow as I am, just find something that has at least 2 pegs on it and place your bands on there. So I'm going to do about 5, and these are the limited edition bands. feel like they make nicer bows. So I'm just going to place those on my 2 pegs. Actually, this would have been easier with a loom, but I was too lazy to get it out. So you've got your bands on your 2 pegs, and then you're going to take one more. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to work here. Okay. And you're going to go on the outside, and from the other side you're going to grab one end. You guys probably already know how to do this because I've showed you this like many times, because I use this like all the time for my bows. Anyways, I'm grabbing one end, I'm bringing it on the outside of those, and then I'll grab the other end. Just like that, and then I'm going to tie that into a slip knot. And then you're just going to carefully take those off your peg. Just fixing mine up a little bit because it got all messed up. And then I'm just going to tighten this a little bit more. And then I'm just going to wrap this around the center as many times as I can. Which isn't much with these LE bands because they don't have much stretch to them. Okay. And then you're going to figure out where you want your little bow to go. I think I'll put it like right by her, like right in front of her ear. So I'm going to stick my hook through those center bands. And I'm going to use a body colored band. So I'm going to pull through a body color band. And I'll use this body color band to attach it to the face. So I'm just going to pull it through some holes. And I'm attaching it the same exact way that I did the other stuff. I should have probably used a different pink because it's not that much different from the other pink that I'm using. And since I'm just using a single band, I'm going to slip knot that and then go into some stitches on the inside of the face and tie that off with the body color band. Just like that. So there's her little bow, and we are finished with the features of our hedgehog. And of course you can always fix it up to look a little better if it's all messed up and stuff. But I will do that at the end of when I'm not on camera. So let's go ahead and continue on with our rounds. And we're actually going to start decreasing. So we're actually going to start working on closing your hedgehog up. So here we go again with all the fur. Remember to get your stitch marker ready. So we're going to take out this tying off band and toss that aside. I'm going to pick up where I last left off and place my C-clip in that loop. And here we are picking up on row 10. What we want to do is a single crochet, a single crochet, a single crochet, followed by a decrease, so that we end up with 24 stitches. So even with the decreases, we are going to be adding the fur. So let's start off with our single crochets. So don't forget your fur, and I'm still just using one for each one till I get to the end. So single crochet, my finger's itchy. Single, okay, and then one more single crochet. Okay, and now I want to do a decrease. So I'm going to try to get these out of the way so you can see what I'm doing here. So for a decrease, we want to stitch these next two stitches up together. So I'm going to stick my hook and pick up that front loop only. So I'm going in between and I have the front loop on my hook. Then I'm going to go to the next stitch over and pick up that front loop only as well. So I have both front loops on my hook. And then I want to do my fur here. So I'm going to place my fur band on there. Grab another band. And then I want to bring this band through these two loops only. And then reclaim and slide under. So that was a decrease. Now we're going to continue on with our single crochets. So single, 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 and then we want to do a decrease. So again, I'm going to go through, pick up the front loop of this stitch, and then go to my next stitch and pick up the front loop only. Grab my fur band, bring my band through those first two loops, reclaim and slide under. Okay, going back to our singles. Single, 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 and then I'm going to do a decrease here. Add my fur, go through those two loops only, reclaim, slide under. Go back to your singles. So single, 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 and a decrease. Back to singles. Single, 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 and then a decrease. And let's repeat that pattern one more time. So single, 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 and then I'm going to end with a decrease. Place your C-clip in. And so you should now have 24 stitches around. Let's continue on to row 11. As you can see, I made some mess ups here, but our next row around we want to do single crochet followed by a decrease so that we end up with 18 stitches. Okay, so instead of 3 single crochets, we're just going to be doing 2 single crochets and then a decrease. Again, don't forget to add your fur. So I'm going to do about half of this row with you and then let you, so there's single, single, and then a decrease. Kind of feel like I've been here for a while. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to do single again. Uh-oh, what happened? Okay, hold on. Single, single, and then we're going to do a decrease. Okay, and then I'm going to stop here and let you guys finish up the round. So continue on, single, single, decrease, single, single, decrease, so you get to the end. You should end with a decrease, and you should have 18 stitches when you're finished with this round. So pause the video and I'll meet you back here. Alright, so I'm done with that row and you should have 18 stitches. Now we want to do a single crochet followed by a decrease. Repeat that pattern all the way around, and we will have 12 stitches at the end of that round. And we'll also add some stuffing when we're finished with that. So again, don't forget to add your fur. So I'm going to do a single crochet and then a decrease. A little ball of fluff right here. A single crochet. And a decrease. A single crochet. And then a decrease. So just like a few minutes ago I realized that this pack of bands was the pearl pink mixed with the pink lemonade pearl ones. So it's going to be like 2 different colors, even though they're very similar. The pink lemonade ones are a little more peachy. So like I keep seeing like peachy tones in there. And that's because the bag was mixed. Oh well. Alright, so a single. And then a decrease. We're almost finished. Single. decrease. And a single. Oh no, don't even. Oh gosh. Okay. And then a decrease. You should have 12 stitches, even though it might be kind of hard to see at this point. So I'm just going to slide this down onto my hook a little bit and then grab some stuffing and stuff her up. So I'll just do a little bit at a time. Just give her a nice little round shape. But don't add too much. Especially if you're using a darker color, because that will show up even more. You really don't need too much stuffing for this. So I think that's good. Alright, so now we want to close it up. So we're just going to be decreasing all the way around. So we have 12 stitches now, so we just need to do a total of 6 decreases. And don't forget your fur. We're still adding the fur here, so. Okay, so I'm going to do my first decrease here. And now you have to like make sure you don't get your stuffing mixed in there with your stitches and the other fur, so. Okay, I already messed up. Too many things going on here. Okay. Okay, so fur. So there's one decrease. And then I'm going to do my second. Two. Okay, doing my third now. There's 3. Here it is, 4. This one is 5. And one more. And 6. So once you've done that, you'll still have like a little bit of a hole left. You're gonna grab another band, bring it on to that band, reclaim and tie it into a slip knot. And then you're gonna bring this band through all the loops that you have left. So you have 6 left, but I'm gonna bring them about through 5. So I'm just gonna go through the top band, the top loop, grab my tying off band here, and bring that through. And then go to my next top loop and bring that tying off band through. And just keep going around until you can't find any more stitches to go through. So I think that's good. That closes up my hole. And then you're just going to push down with your thumb and pull on that tying off band just to make sure you're closing it all the way up. And then I am going to go in a stitch nearby my tying off band, which might be hard for you guys to see. But I'm just sticking my hook through a stitch, and then I'm going to take this tying off band, bring it through that stitch, and then bring it through this and push down while I tighten that knot. And then you can kind of fluff that out a little bit, and then you want to tuck this into the body. It doesn't have to be perfectly tucked in because it will actually just blend in with the rest of the little spikes. And there we go. We have finished with our little hedgehog, and I hope yours came out great. I'm sure they did. And I'm looking forward to seeing yours. So I'm looking forward to seeing like the different color combos that you guys use on them. You guys can be pretty creative with those. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I will be back for more tutorials. And thank you so much for being patient with me in my month-long break that I decided to take. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me, and I hope you guys enjoyed making these little cuties. And if you want to share them with me, you can find my link to Instagram or Facebook on my YouTube channel banner. Those links will take you directly there, and you can share it with me there because I would love to see them. And I will see you guys for more tutorials. I've got some cute things planned, so I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Bye.